Predictive care helps shift the focus from how do we respond to everything all at once everywhere to how do we prevent the most damaging things from happening in the first place. Welcome to the Social Media CX Podcast, the show about what really happens when brands stop broadcasting and start having real conversations with their customers on social. I'm Brooke Sellis, and around here, we believe that conversations beat campaigns every single time. All right, y'all, we're starting with another hard truth. Because most social care teams aren't failing, they're reacting as fast as they can, but they're inside systems that were never designed to help them win. And that's exactly what we uncovered while working on the State of Social Care 2026 report. It isn't a lack of effort or a lack of empathy. It's really more of a lack of early signals, shared insights, and organizational readiness. So today I want to answer one core question. What does social care actually look like when it works for both customers and for the people doing the work? Once you can see that future state clearly, you can't unsee the gap anymore. Here's what reactive social care looks like, in case you don't know. Customers are reaching out on social when they're already frustrated, so you're getting those complaints coming through on social. Teams respond quickly, but they're late in the emotional cycle. So maybe it took them a while to respond, or they're not responding with the appropriate tone or empathy. Insights are getting logged, maybe quarterly, not daily, in real time as these conversations are happening. And because of all of this, leadership sees social as helpful, but not strategic. It's the whole, we don't see a return on investment with our social media efforts, that whole thing. And y'all, this is not a people problem. This is a timing problem. By the time most issues surface on social, the damage is already in motion. We've got trust erosion, we have churn risk, we have what we call escalations and re-escalations, meaning when people have to be escalated to a customer support or a legal or an HR, whatever the situation is. And we have burned out teams constantly playing defense. This showed up loud and clear in our report. If you're following along, look at chapter 6, where we talk about the challenges and the future of social care. The future, by the way, isn't faster reactions, it's just earlier awareness. Let's demystify this all because predictive gets thrown away way too casually. Predictive social care does not mean replacing humans with AI. It does not mean guessing what your customers want. And it definitely doesn't mean building some futuristic command center, although that's what a lot of brands seem to be doing today. What it does mean is this. You start recognizing patterns long before they turn into problems. In practice, this is what that looks like. Repeated questions on the same product or delivery or code or whatever it may be hint at confusion, a problem, a pothole on the path to purchase, as I call it in my book, Conversations That Connect. Language shifts that signal frustration before a complaint. So a lot of times, if we're really paying attention in real time, in the moment, we can kind of see the signal of frustration show up before it actually turns into a lodged complaint. It also looks like silence after engagement that often precedes churn. So you try to fix it, maybe you're late, you're getting silence back, they've probably already churned. Yikes, we definitely don't want that. And it also looks like product issues surfacing socially days, sometimes weeks before tickets spike. So again, you start to see early signals that help you prevent churn or crises or an uptick in tickets. At B Squared Media, we call these intent signals and early warnings. And when your team learns to spot them, everything changes. This might be the biggest operational shift we see. Most organizations treat social insights like this. They gather the data, they compile the reports, they share the reports monthly, quarterly, and then they hope someone reads them. Sound familiar? But high-performing teams are doing something radically more simple. They're running weekly what we heard loops. Not dashboards or 40-slide decks, one focused conversation. Each week, they ask, what are customers asking about repeatedly? What are they worried about? And what are they hinting at, but not quite saying out loud or outright? And then, and this is key, they share that insight or those insights outside of the social team. They talk with product, they talk with marketing, they talk with CX or customer support and leadership. Sometimes they even talk to legal or operations teams. This is where social care stops being a service function, by the way, and starts becoming an early warning system for you. I also want to talk about burnout for a second, because the report surfaced something important, which is burnout isn't just because of message volume, meaning you might be getting a ton of messages, but it's really more about feeling ineffective. When teams are solving the same issues over and over and over again, when they're seeing the same issues and problems being escalated over and over and over again, and when they're sharing insights that go nowhere, where no action is taken over and over and over again, that's when exhaustion starts to set in. Predictive systems help you change that dynamic, because when you're using predictive systems, your teams start to see issues being prevented, not just solved or resolved. They see insights being acted on, which means they're not having to solve that same problem over and over and over again. They see the patterns are acknowledged by leadership and that something's being done. I'm not saying you're going to solve all of the problems that you have overnight, but taking action on the insights is where all of this starts to come together. It's where work becomes sustainable again. Not easier per se, but purposeful, which helps with burnout. One of the strongest through lines in the report that I saw is this. Social care teams are hitting a capacity ceiling, and adding headcount alone doesn't fix this. Why? Because volume will always grow faster than people. Predictive care helps shift the focus from how do we respond to everything all at once everywhere to how do we prevent the most damaging things from happening in the first place? How can we stop some of that volume in the first place? That's how your team scales with impact and not just output. So here's what I want you to do starting this month or next month, but start it soon. For 4 whole weeks, the entire month, I want you to summarize what customers are asking, fearing, or hinting at on social. Remember those 3 questions that I asked earlier. I'll repeat them again. What are customers asking repeatedly? What are they worried about? What are they hinting at but not saying outright? Those are the 3 questions. So summarize that and then share it weekly outside of your team. Share it with product, marketing, customer support, whomever. And then I want you to observe, did product listen? Did marketing adjust messaging? Did leadership ask follow-up questions? Did anybody ask follow-up questions? If the answer is no, that's not failure, but it is clarity. You've just identified the gap between where you are and where predictive social care actually begins. Connecting the dots yet? If this episode clicked for you, I have 2 next steps. Number 1 is obviously you need to go download the State of Social Care report and grab the 2026 Social Care Playbook from Talk to Trust. Yes, we built a playbook, not just a diagnosis or a report. You can find that playbook inside of Chapter 8. And 2, request a social care audit. If this all sounds like it's really familiar and you're not sure how to move forward, go to our website and request a social care audit. And what we will do is we will align your social care program to the maturity framework that is shared in the report in Chapter 7. We've already had one of the largest asset managers in the world come to us for 2026 to use this audit and evaluate whether they're truly ready to move from a reactive to a proactive social care program. Just saying. Either way, no matter which of those 2 things you do, you are not dabbling, you are not being idle, you are not sitting on your laurels? Yeah, I think that's it. You're actually deciding whether or not your social care stays reactive or becomes one of the most strategic, intelligent system that your organization has. And that choice, y'all, it changes everything. Hey, if you loved this podcast, do me a big solid and head on over to ratethispodcast.com/SMCX. That's S as in snake, M as in mouth or mouse, C as in cat, and X as in X-ray. ratethispodcast.com/SMCX. And until next time, think conversation, not campaign. Thanks for tuning in to the Social Media CX podcast. If you loved today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs to up their social care game.